Good morning, this is Duane Lowry for the DPP Grain Desk. It is early Saturday morning. This is now my fourth take on this video. The first video I did was more than 15 minutes, and I decided to scrap that because I felt there was too much repetition and rambling that basically said the same basic thing, which is we don't know what our national yield potential is because we still haven't stabilized production potential. We don't know what upside potential is because we still haven't determined what our production floor is. We're obviously at price levels in corn already and have been for a couple of weeks that will ration demand. We do not need to go higher in prices to ration demand, but we don't know how much demand we have to ration because we don't know what kind of national yield potential we have. The problem here is that based on the last USDA report from this past week with supply and demand projections where they had 146 national yield, they took a lot of demand out and we still had 1.1 billion carryout. Current prices are capable of rationing, reducing the demand by that amount to produce a 1.1 billion carryout very easily. In fact, you could probably do that with prices 75 cents lower than where they are right now. Problem is, how much demand do we have to ration because how low can this yield go? Are we sub 140? Could we be 130? We don't know, and that uncertainty makes an almost futile environment for even predicting price potential. The only thing I want to say here about price upside potential is in drought markets, number one, they peak before you expect them to. Number two, and this is my biggest concern about the uncertainty of the future. In 2008, we had a blow-off in wheat where Minneapolis wheat went to $21 or $22. Chicago wheat was significantly higher. Those were absolutely crazy values. There was no need for those values. There was no way they were going to be sustained. They were not required to ration demand. They were just a blow-off event in a futures marketplace where everybody just throws up their hands and says, just get me out. I don't want anything to do with it. I got to blow out of my hedge, everything. And that is the fear that I have for trying to determine what upside potential here is in the corn market. The problem is you might still have that upside blow-off period left. And we know that those price levels won't be sustained, but we still have that type of potential that we have that type of event ahead of us. And it makes for an impossible environment and a foolish environment to pick a top. Technical conditions are overbought, doesn't matter. Technical conditions warn of price setbacks here, doesn't matter. Until we get a rain and stabilize the conditions in the west so we don't lose production potential any further, nothing else really matters. If we get price setbacks just because that's the nature of the business, these corn will be well supported, $6.80 to $7. Even if we get a rain develop in the west, a general rain event, you're going to have a hard time getting below that level. That same type of price level for support for beans is probably $14.50 to $14.75 basis November beans. Beans are somewhat different than corn because I don't think we've lost as much yield potential in soybeans as we have in corn. But the problem is we started out with a situation that we really didn't think we could afford to lose any based on the balance sheet. So we obviously still have to ration soybean demand as well. Looking forward here, the forecast still doesn't offer this stabilization rain event. We've had it in the south and the delta. They've stabilized probably. We haven't had it in the west, and parts of the eastern Midwest are just beyond repair. So looking forward here, I think caution is still the main thing. Respect the marketplace to still have a blow-off to the upside. But I think the reality is whatever price levels we experience here over the next 3 weeks, these price levels are not going to be sustainable. So once you find the point where the corn market has seen a rain event or has got a change in the forecast that they're confident in, and we're going to stabilize the crop, I think at that point in time you start to very quickly say, hey, we're high enough, we can't be sustained, and then a guy makes marketing decisions. In the meantime, I think you just have to wait. For the DPP Grain Desk, this has been Duane Lowry. Thank you.